Grace and peace to all of you that are listening and watching us at this time. We are beginning a series on the life of Samson, the sunlight deliverer. And we want to share with you message 2 today, which is entitled Adonai Answers a Father's Prayer. Adonai Answers a Father's Prayer. And I want us to look at Judges chapter 13. Beginning at verse 6, and we'll read through verse 10. It says, Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told he me his name. And he said unto me, Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. And Manoah entreated the Lord and said, O my Lord, let the man of God which you did send come unto us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. And God hearkened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came again unto the woman as she sat in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran and showed her husband and said unto him, Behold, the man has appeared unto me, who came unto me the other day. Adonai answers a father's prayer. In our previous study in verses 1 through 5, we learned that the Lord sent an angel to the city of Zorah, which was a small town in Dan, to a barren woman by the name of Hazelelpani. The angel made her aware that her husband Noah, which means a place of rest, that he was sterile, but the Lord would make his virility at full capacity, and she would become pregnant and deliver a male child into the world in the midst of the nation's oppression, and how he would launch or begin to initiate freedom from the oppressive bondage of Israel from their arch nemesis, the Philistine nation. And we shared in our last message that only divine messages can change human statuses. Her husband went from sterility to virility, and she went from barrenness to fruitfulness. God gave this couple a personal solution to a national problem. That was the title of our first message. Manifested material blessings that enter into our lives are often for the express purposes of blessing individuals and nations, not just for our personal benefit and usage. There is always and without fail a bigger picture and a greater purpose behind these blessings. Hazelelpani would now join the ranks of great matriarchs such as Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Hannah, and Elizabeth, who were barren but gave birth to powerful sons. In our sterility, in our barrenness, we have to remember that we are not just being held back on purpose, but we're being held for purpose. The holdup is for God to show up. Let me say that again. The holdup is for God to show up. So in verse 6, Hazelelpani did what any woman would do after having had an angelic visitation. She went and conveyed this experience to her husband, honoring him as the spiritual head, priest, and covering of their household. She refers to the angel as a man of God, what we believe as a theophany, which is a concealed version of Christ during the Old Covenant dispensation. She mentioned his countenance, that it was a supernatural phenomenon or spectacle, that he was beautiful to look upon as one of God's deputy messengers. And she said that he was the angel of God. He was the angel of Elohim, the supreme God, and that he was very terrible. She meant that I was astonished and I was in complete awe. I was so taken away by his experience and his person that he didn't volunteer to tell me what his name was, neither did I ask. And at this juncture, the message is far more important than the messenger. So the angel's focus was not only to identify himself, but to infiltrate the divine message into the heart of that mother-to-be. And she further relays the fact that her prenatal care for this baby boy has to be consecrated and devoted for God and devoted to God for his physical and spiritual benefit until his purpose is fulfilled in the earth realm. Israel's destiny was contingent upon this child's diet in the womb. Whatever she fed herself, she fed the baby. And you can extract the word diet out of the word destiny. So our destiny has a lot to do with the hastening of its fulfillment by our diet, what we choose to place in our spirits, minds, and bodies. His health, his extraordinary strength will be a direct reflection of his mother's care for him while in the womb. Hazelelpani will be a Nazirite carrier, while Samson would be a Nazirite conqueror. And we taught a lot about the Nazirite vow in our first message, in our first teaching, and you can go back and view that in your leisure. If he wasn't fed right, he couldn't fight right. His mother is responsible for his welfare, while he would be responsible for his warfare. Now, in verses 8 and 9, I'm sure that Manoah, her husband, was overwhelmed by this news that his wife relayed to him. And like most husbands, most men, they want to have sons to perpetuate their name and their legacy, because in the Israeli culture, when a woman was barren, she was viewed in a negative light, as if she was cursed by not having the ability to give birth. And she was treated like a single woman and wasn't given any honor in her marriage to her husband, because procreation was what made a marriage legitimate in the mindset of that culture. So the stigma has now been removed by this angelic messaging. As I told you, divine messages, it changes human statuses. And I'm inclined to believe that in Manoah's reaction to this news, he began to ponder what role he would play in his son's life as a father, and gradually beginning to feel the weight of the responsibility coming upon him. And he responded in the most spiritual way. It says he entreated the Lord. The word entreat is the Hebrew word athar, A-T-H-A-R, and it means to burn incense in worship. It means to smoke with perfume. And burning incense, particularly in the Old Covenant dispensation, it created a sacred atmosphere. It symbolized prayers ascending into the presence of God. It was a symbology of intercession, in this case, for his family, and to be able to listen to the Lord's instruction. And he said, "Oh, my Lord." He acknowledged the Lord as Adonai. Now, Hazelelpani, she acknowledged God as Elohim, but Manoah acknowledged him as Adonai, that you are my power, you are my authority, you are my ownership. Now, here's a man in authority in his household, in his spiritual life, but he is yet under the authority of Adonai. The head of household, as the head of household, he desired to see this angel who spoke to his wife. He didn't feel cheated or overlooked or disrespected as a man. He obviously believed his wife and the experience that she had, but his concern was that his family would be covered, and he was projecting the future. He wanted divine guidance on how to rear this child in the fulfillment of his destiny. His concern, like most fathers' concerns, after he's born, what is the next step we take? What is the next move we make? And he's a great father to have had this kind of heart and desire. And it makes you wonder how many potential fathers spend time in prayer before their children are born and are concerned about the paternal roles that they are to play and make sure their sons and daughters, that their upbringing is within divine compliance. And there was something else very key that Manoah said. He asked Adonai, he said, teach us. Fathers need divine instruction and tutelage on how to be fathers. And this is a man who not only prayed this because he needed this, but he wanted this. Manoah's mentality was futuristic. He wanted to help his son succeed in fulfilling the will of God for his life. Let the angel, this is his prayer, Adonai, let the angel provide us a follow-up visit, because we don't know what to do after our son is born unless we're taught what to do. That's beautiful. This just proves to us that when it comes to parenting, we have to look to God for divine guidance. He has to teach us how to teach our children, especially when we're clear on the stewardship factor of our sons and daughters' destinies. And the word teach is yara, Y-A-R-A-H, yara in Hebrew, and it means to shoot forth as an arrow, like an archer, to properly position, pull back, and release the child into his destiny. Psalm 127 verse 4 says, as arrows are in the hand of the mighty man, so are children of thy youth. Arrows will hit their target if they are aimed properly and correctly. So it takes vision, focus, and proper positioning and release for the arrow to hit his designated target. Manoah desires for his wife and himself to hit the target in parenting this baby boy properly. And we're closing. In verses 9 and 10, the supreme God of the universe, he hearkened, he listened attentively to Manoah's heart cry. This is Adonai answering a father's prayer. As a result, this divine messenger, he made his second appearance to his wife. This assures us that the Lord, he hears, he answers our prayers. And there are times when the answer comes immediately, promptly, expeditiously, and without delay. And there are some things that we need God to do for us urgently. And when these things involve the lives of others as well as the nation, in this particular case, the Lord wanted Manoah involved because he would be the father of this baby boy. So when the angel appeared to Hazelelpani, it says that she sat in the field. And I'm sure she was in the field meditating, praying, pondering, contemplating, reflecting, propagating, projecting about this baby boy that she would be impregnated with, and the purposes of God surrounding his future, and the role she and her husband would play, and how they would have to be spiritually, mentally, and physically committing themselves to this Nazirite vow in her prenatal care of this boy. And then the angel appears again, not for her sake, but for the husband's sake. She remembered that her husband wanted to see the angel. So faith without works is dead. So when the angel appeared, she engaged in 4 actions. Number 1, she made haste. It means to be quick, skillful, diligent, acute-minded, and to be hurried. It says, then she ran. She moved quickly. And then thirdly, she showed her husband. She announced and made known to him after finding him. We're not told where Manoah was at the time, but evidently he could not have been too far away. And she was determined to help him see that his prayer was being answered. There are times when we pray for God to do something for us. The answer comes, but the answer won't always come to us, but we have to go where the answer is. It could be locationally or situationally. There are times when the Lord will have people to enter into our lives, those who are in agreement with us, to let us know that what we have prayed for has come to pass, and we have to pursue it and possess it. They have located the answer, and many times God will direct us to it, and we have to be willing to go to it right then. And then the fourth form of action she engaged in, she said to him, she articulated the fact that his prayer has been materialized verbatim, and now is the time to pursue and possess with no time to lose and no time to waste. Adonai answers a father's prayer. We thank you for joining us for this teaching. We encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and look at the entirety of our video library. You can visit our website at drbennycalloway3.com. If you want to support our ministry, you can Cash App us at Kingdom Truth 2006, or you can log on to our website and donate. You can go to PayPal, Benny Calloway 3. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. May the Lord bless you and have a tremendous day. Peace.